Well, everyone, we've talked a lot today about different things. As far as dorm life, we talked about, I gave you a tour of my dorm room. I also talked about furniture and accessories you might want to bring, along with electronics, also clothing, and then we finished with a segment about Tyler and I's pet fish, and if you want to have a pet fish in the dorm, and the best ways to take care of the fish and what to buy for him so he'll be happy. So now a couple more videos. I want in this video to talk about, well, what are some things, what are some good methods you should practice to live in a good environment, to keep everybody happy, to be respectful to your roommate, and just have a good dorm experience overall. The first of all is cleanliness. I took you around the dorm room, and yeah, as you can see, there is some mess here and there, some things scattered about, but for the most part, everything is picked up off the floor. It's pretty much put in our own space. And again, Tyler and I have a great advantage because we're best friends. So we have a lot of compromising and things like that coming in. If you're living with a random roommate, you may not have such a luxury, but it's important to stay picked up and organized. And also, as you saw, I never went through any of Tyler's stuff. I said that a couple of times. I'm not going to, because obviously you need to respect the privacy of your roommate. You can't be going through their stuff and I mean, it's not polite, it's not right. You have to respect the privacy of your roommate. There's a lot of compromising that has to go on as well. I do this thing on YouTube where I film my gameplay footage, and I film on TV and everything like that, but Tyler lives with me, and he actually has a girlfriend that lives in Georgia that he talks to on Skype on the computer almost every night. Well, it's difficult for me to video at the same time and provide my live commentary while he's in the background on Skype. So obviously, there's a tension there that we had to compromise on. And so my compromise is, well, I try to do it when he's not here. And then when he is here, I'll say, okay, I won't film anymore the rest of the night. You can Skype all you want. Sometimes, if I'm in the middle of playing a game and he comes in and wants to take a Skype call, well, we'll compromise, and he'll talk quietly on the side, or do only text while I finish up my gameplay or something like that. So, perfect example of a compromise. And you may have to compromise like that. Your roommate may want to go to bed early, and you may want to stay up late. Just differing opinions like that. Well, like I said before, get one of the lamps, and that way if your roommate wants to go to bed, respect that. When she wants to go to bed, or he wants to go to bed, let them, and you can stay over here with your lamp and have your own personal work area. Just be quiet and let them sleep. Basic compromises. You're living in a very small space, probably a space, maybe just a little bit bigger than your own room at home. And you're sharing it with another person, and this is your entire living space. So you've got to compromise, and you've got to find ways to peacefully resolve your arguments and your differences, because you're going to have to get along with them, and you're going to have to survive together. And it's all about give and take. It's all about just being courteous, being polite. Keeping your stuff neat and to yourself, and respecting the rights of your roommate. Again, if they want to go to bed, or if they want to do something that conflicts with what you're doing, it's all about compromise, and it's about sacrifice in the end. So remember that, and you should be fine, and you and your roommate should live together in perfect bliss. Again, if your roommate does something, however, that you feel violates that, if your roommate is very messy, or they don't let you go to bed, sit down with them and talk to them and say, listen, I'd appreciate it if, when I want to go to bed, if you'll just keep it down. You can keep your lamp on and do all sorts of stuff, but I got to go to bed, I have early class, so I would appreciate it if you would be quiet, or I would appreciate it if you could be a little cleaner, if you would, pick up your side of the room, or something like that. Sit down and try to talk to the person about it, and come to a resolution that you can both agree on. And you should be fine. Just be courteous, be polite, and respect the rights of your roommate, and sit down and talk about it when you've got a problem, and you should be fine. So that's that, and the last thing I want to talk about to wrap up the dorm room survival guide is, you're living in a dorm and you've got a bunch of hallways here and there with a bunch of people in it, and sometimes there can be distractions, and what are some of the distractions you might face living in a dorm, and how can you rectify those problems? Well, the first is that your people in the hall, especially I know here, can be extremely loud and out of control. I mean, people have ran up and down the hall at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, screaming, making noise, probably drunk, running around, banging on everything, wakes me and Tyler up at 2 o'clock in the morning, throwing parties next door and everything else. But what are you supposed to do about that? Well, in your dorm you're going to have an RA, a resident advisor who lives on your floor and is supposed to keep order. Well, our RA doesn't do anything. If that stuff goes on, he just ignores it and doesn't correct it. So unfortunately, that's a problem for us. If we're trying to study and it's really loud outside, or we're trying to sleep and they come home drunk and start beating all over the walls at 2 in the morning, there's nothing, unfortunately, Tyler, I can do about it. That's the RA's job, but our RA doesn't do his job, unfortunately, and so it's something we have to deal with. Maybe in your dorm, where you're going, your RA will do their job, and they will actually keep the people quiet and reprimand them if they're being loud and crazy and out of control. So usually in that scenario you won't have to do anything, but for us, we can't do anything and it's not taken care of. Again though, if it's loud and you want to study, there's probably study areas in your dorm. There is in mine. Let me get another sip of drink. There's these study areas where you can go and it's quiet and you can do your work, or you can go to the library and do your work there in a quiet environment where you can actually get work done without the noise everywhere. Another thing is, again, with the RA, I mean, there are rules and regulations in place technically in your dorm. You're not supposed. Yeah, obviously you can't have alcohol, you can't have drugs in your dorm or weapons or anything like that. That's pretty obvious. So just don't be stupid. Don't try to bend the rules by bringing alcohol in your dorm. Don't be an idiot. Because if you get caught, you're going to get thrown out of your dorm. And it's pretty funny. Our last RA, who also was useless, actually got dismissed from being an RA because he was caught trying to smuggle alcohol into Tiger Stadium. And not only is that illegal, obviously, but he was also underage. So he's an idiot, and not only did he lose his room here, but he lost his job title as an RA. So don't be stupid. Don't try to bring that stuff in the dorm room. Just don't do it. You don't want to mess with all that stuff and potentially get kicked out of your room. Also, keep the noise down at a minimum. Be polite to the other people on the floor who might want to get work done or whatever. Observe quiet hours. Your dorm will have quiet hours. Observe them, or if you have an RA who actually is useful. If you don't, you'll probably get accosted by them, which is never fun. Stuff like that. There's also some other problems such as eating. We have a problem here with eating because we can't really cook anything per se. We have a communal kitchen, but you have to bring your own pots and wash them and everything, and we're not going to go through all that trouble. So the only thing we can really cook here is microwavable food, or else go get fast food here on campus, and it gets old after a while. But just try and do what you can. Try to buy some stuff at the store that you can microwave, because you will get tired. We have dining halls here that we can go eat at and use what they call meals. We buy a meal plan at the beginning of the semester. We use meals every time we go in and get food at the dining halls, but to be brutally honest, their food really isn't that great, and we get tired of it, so a lot of times we'll go to our student union and buy some food or stuff like that. Just do what you can about that. If you want to bring your own pots and pans and cook, that's fine. That's one of the big things I'm looking forward to, is moving into an apartment, is that we'll be able to actually cook our own food, which will be nice. So the food thing could be an issue, but just work around it. Do what's best for you. Get some microwavable food, and do what you can. But other than that, those are really some of the common problems you might run into living in a dorm, how you can resolve those. So I think with that, it's been a long and but hopefully informative playlist of videos. The Dorm Room Survival Guide. I hope that all you incoming students going into dorms this fall learn something from this, and I hope you can take something away from it. Excuse me, and I hope it helps you in making your decisions and helps ease the pressure and the scariness of moving away from home and what you can expect what life to be like up here in a dorm room, and what kind of things you can bring to make your life easier and so forth. So thank you guys for watching. Again, I hope it was helpful. If you have any comments or anything you'd like to leave on these videos or anything else, please do. I'd love to hear your input if they were helpful, if there was something I could have done better to make it more useful. Please let me know all of that. I would really appreciate your feedback, and a nice break from the gaming footage to do this. So I'm Voodoo51292. This has been the Dorm Room Survival Guide, and I'll see you guys in the future, and best of luck with moving into a dorm.